Oh God. Okay.
Hi, slaps. Today we're going to do Drag Race US episode 5. Once again, I am joined by my drag family. She is the tramp of Tralee. It's Serena wearing this yellow hair and a mask. Serena, tell the people why do you have a mask on?
Serena Carpenter.
Serena,
I have a
yes.
mask on because I tinted my facial hair and I want to keep it. It was a lot of work.
So you want to live the fantasy outside of the
I want to
fantasy.
live. Oh yes. I
The
want to have
master.
my cake and eat dick.
Yes. So, big episode, long episode. I've aged about 15 years watching this episode. How did you feel about it before we get into it?
I'm not really a huge fan of the balls because it's a lot of looks, and I'd rather see them do something different.
Yeah,
Because they do a look anyway.
yeah. Um, but yes, if anyone notices why I'm looking like this today, it's because I'm a natural, stunning beauty today. I'm just feeling it. Um, so the girls walk in. Candy says to Simone that she's her biggest competition, which is a bit dodge. And to me, she's like, hold up, you don't know anything that we can do. I agree with her. I mean, to point out someone's greatest competition, that's something you don't say out loud. You keep that to yourself. So
Yeah.
she's actually invalidating the rest of their drag, um, all for the sake of Simone. But what did you think of it? Candy v. Tanisha.
Um. I mean, like Candy doesn't seem like she's going to keep anything to herself,
Yeah.
so I'm not surprised. But it's funny to see Tamisha went at her again because like there's going to be some actual proper drama with the two of them. Like
Yeah.
next
Like
episode, you can see.
she's starting to crack. And at the start, she was trying to be like very, very confident, was putting herself above Aja, which was her drag mother, but didn't put her in drag. It was like they were in the same drag house. Her confidence at the start doesn't seem justified as she's going through. You can tell she's starting to crack and take it out on people,
Mm-hmm.
um, which is it. So the mini challenge they do is like a baby mini challenge, like dress up as babies. It made me feel comfortable.
Did it?
I mean, like they're dressed up as babies, acting like babies. So they had to bring that look anyways, but like I didn't like it. Did you like it?
I didn't find it entertaining. No.
No.
Uh, I thought that like Elliot was really thirsty, trying really hard to win it. Um, Other than that, it wasn't particularly good. Like.
Yeah, like nothing major really happened from the start of the episode, really. Because I think a lot of the episode was taken up by the workroom and the main challenge, which
Mm-hmm.
is sort of 36 looks. But then RuPaul announces that it is I was gonna say the ball bag, the bag ball, um, ball
The
bag,
ball bag.
the ball bag.
The ball
So
bag.
the ball bag, there are three categories. First is mixed bags, so then it was money bag, and then it was bag. So that was the materials they were given to turn into a garment. Um, so going through the workroom, then the non-floors, because it's one every season. This time there's three. There's Lalaurie, Candy Muse, and Simone, which was a shock because Simone's the fashion girl of the season. What do you think of queens going into Drag Race with no sewing experience?
I think it's like at this point, it's very everybody. You're pretty much fucked going in if you don't have anything.
Yeah, like it's season 13 of US Drag Race, and there's always something to do with sewing. The girls always going to be like, "Oh, I just don't know how to sew." Like some of them do, like an Veronica Green on the UK Drag Race learned to sew when she got the call. Um,
But even queens learn to sew in preparation, but by the time they get there, they don't really know enough, or at
yeah,
least from what I've seen.
yeah. Like I am starting to learn to sew just because it's lockdown, learn craft. You know how to sew, so like
Literally.
I think it's good to have them basic skills as long as you can do the three things, which is makeup, your own hair, and your own. Maybe not outfit, but know how to construct an outfit if you were stuck on the fly and all you had was material and
Well, if they're
a.
stuck, they can glue things to a corset.
Apparently not, according to Valerie's endeavors tonight. But I mean, if it comes to it, but I think it's a skill you can always bring past Drag Race. Like it's something I think is important. So so I'll be eventually learning. And then we find out, I think I mentioned this already, that Tamisha actually put Lalaurie in her first drag. So even though they're not in the same drag family, it's like they're like distant cousins. There's still something there. I thought that was nice. Did you notice as well, Lala was getting a lot of screen time during the workroom?
Yeah, but that was partly because she couldn't use the sewing machine. And I think it was probably comedic.
I mean, it was like she did give stunning talking heads. Like, I love her. She's so infectious. I know you're not the greatest fan of her and her style, but I just love her in the talking heads.
Well, no, she is. She's endearing.
She's very, very endearing. So then they're talking about balls and where they came from. Because it is typically more found in states that have people of color, Utica has never been to a ball. So then Tamisha turns the workroom into a ball, which I loved. It was nice to see that. Did you live?
Yeah, I liked it too. Yeah, that was funny.
I lived. It was nice to see her showcasing the era of drag she knows. So I think balls then kind of morphed into becoming pageants as well. So pageants then were kind of based on a standard beauty pageant, and then balls are kind of the old school drag, but there is obviously more categories than drag. So that was that. And then, do you have anything of note from the workroom before RuPaul walks around, or do you want to go into RuPaul's section?
Oh, I just thought it was a really weird challenge to use bags for costume. And I felt bad for the girls who couldn't sew, because I know that it's really horrible to sit down and not have any idea what you're doing. And I just thought Utica was really nice because she went around and helped Lalaurie to set up the machine.
I actually heard through the grapevine or seen on Twitter that Utica actually helped every single person. Like, there wasn't a person she didn't help. That's some little behind the scene tidbit. Behind the scene. RuPaul's walking around. It's the first mention of Inner Saboteur. Now, you haven't watched Drag Race past or prior to the season in a big way. RuPaul every season tells girls, don't let their inner saboteur destroy their chances in the competition. It's like a given in Drag Race. This is the first time she said in the season, so I wrote down as a point to mention.
And they made such a big deal of it too.
Such a big deal of it. Then as RuPaul's leaving, he's like, oh, one last thing. Massive ad for Coach bags. I did not see the need for this ad. It was clearly like,
oh my God, it was so awkward.
It's so awkward. Everyone was like, ooh.
That guy has never seen Drag Race, because the end of the ad was, so you can walk into the workroom first. Like, he didn't know where that came from.
No, like it came from Bob basically in like season 8, I think it was. So that's where like Purse first came from, but it was like, sit down. Hello, Queens of Drag. I am Coach. We purses that are big enough for a queen. I was like, can you not just say this episode was sponsored by Coach and the girls will be using Coach bags? It fucked up a lot of their outfits in terms of like, it was a massive oversized clutch, and who wants to carry that down the runway?
I don't remember a very obvious sponsorship before this either, like an actual segment.
But this was something I've never seen. Like, it was in your. I didn't appreciate it whatsoever. So RuPaul announces that they'll use that in their money bags. Look, I mean, I would have liked, even if we seen them do some like accessorizing with it. I think would have been a fun idea, but we didn't see it. So then RuPaul leaves, and we're walking around the workroom. Massive discussion was Black Lives Matter, which I think was important because there's a lot of queens of color on this season. I think it was important to discuss. Someone made a point of reference on Twitter that Candy Muse was using a Jeffree Star mirror while talking about it, which was a little bit gas.
Hilarious.
Just a little bit gas. But it was.
What do you do? Throw it in the bin, you know?
I mean, yes, like obviously no one can say she bought it before or after. I'm surprised it wasn't taped up, because normally if there's a brand, they tape the brand so like no, they can't be gotten for loads of money. Which is gas. But I think it was a very, very, very important discussion to have on Drag Race. And Lala Ree's breakdown of it, I think it's important to see someone like that struggling to cope with it because it's not something someone should have to cope with. I mean, I don't want to compare people of color's struggle to gay struggle, but I'm sure that's how gay people felt back in the day when like they were petrified of being found out, they were petrified if they fell in love with someone, being like beaten up, and then to the extreme if they were like a Southern Baptist, it could be murdered if someone cared enough about it. So I think now is the time that queer people should be signing up for not only trans people, people of color, because not only is that where the majority of drag culture came from, but to see someone like Lala Ree be so upset by it, I don't want to believe anything I do contributes to racism subconsciously. Like I don't want to be, when I say subconsciously, I don't mean like I'm being racist. I mean in terms of I want to be anti-racist, not just
neutral, or like not just silent, you know.
Yeah, I want to be actively fighting against racism, but I'm glad they brought it up. It seems to be a series based on social equality, which I appreciate because it's like first time they've done it. But yes, that was the main workroom. Do you have any main comments from the workroom, babes?
Just I thought it was so funny that the part where they talked about the it was actually the bit before when they talked about the saboteur, and then RuPaul turned to Candy and said, "And what do you think of that, Candy?" And she said, "I love it." Didn't have a fucking clue.
I did like that. And Candy was like, I don't know what I said, but this thing is living.
Yeah, she's saying,
It doesn't have a pat on Utica making RuPaul laugh, but it's still a strong second.
Yeah. It was
So
a low moment.
RuPaul comes out, love. It was a return to form for RuPaul. I didn't like some of the gowns she's pulling out, but this like Barbie pink dress and the yellow blonde hair, I loved. it. I think it's possibly the best RuPaul's looked in US Drag Race this season.
I completely blanked it out. I totally forgot what it was.
Well, I love how you pay attention. I love it. So just loved it. Anyways, we move on to the main section because there are 36 looks, which is insane. Actually insane. So we will do mixed first, then money bag, then bag, ball bag. I'm going to call it ball bag section.
Is that the order they were in on the show?
Yes. So mixed bag was first, then followed by money bag, which used the coach bags, and then ball bag was the last section. So first up, mixed. Denali, this crash test dummy. I liked it.
I liked it too. It was memorable.
Memorable, very, very fun. I mean, there wasn't that much shape to it, but I don't think she should have cared. I think it was good. It's an airbag. It's a crash test. Didn't need shape. That's the one time you can forgive someone not having shape is when it's the concept that doesn't need. Then Joey J in this rhinestone catsuit with leaves. When she came out, before we get to the critiques, I was like, what does this like nurse rhinestone catsuit with an IV bag have to do with mixed bag? Surely if she was coming out as a nurse, have the little hat, have the latex nurse outfit, have like a syringe in the other hand. I just didn't get the point of having a rhinestone catsuit, an IV bag.
Well, I think the catsuit was the base because she wasn't going to make an actual outfit out of bags. And then she probably made the IV out of the bags and used an IV bag, so at least bags were incorporated, you know. But it wasn't a hugely obvious bag, but I thought it looked really nice.
It looked nice, but for like the mixed bag section where she brought this from home, I was kind of like, could you not have done some sort of concept for it? I just like there was a bag incorporated, but if you're going to go IV bag, why not go full nurse? That's like it was a lack of like concept direction that annoyed me about it. It was stunning. It was just like mishmashy components.
Yeah.
Then Lala Ree in this black gown, which was her bag of bones, and the bottom of the mermaid dress was a burlap sack, which I loved. Did you live or did you not live?
It was like a Halloween costume.
A Halloween costume, but done in a drag way. It wasn't like a cheap Halloween costume. It was like something a drag queen would wear, and I'd be happy to wear that at Halloween. Would you?
Hmm
Yes.
I'm assuming she just got a dress and added the bags.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah, yeah,
she probably got a black dress, stuck the bones to
yeah.
it, and
Both
then
added bags.
made burlap
So
that up. I liked it. We both liked it.
yeah,
Very,
I
very fun.
liked it. The hair and the makeup was nice too.
Yeah. Then Elliot, the gift bag. It was simple, nice. It was 80s. You have love 80s fashion, don't you?
Do I?
Really?
I don't know. Not
Oh,
particularly. Like,
I
um,
guess.
it was very. I've noticed that she came in with a very weak. People had a very kind of weak perception of her, including me. I thought she was very basic, but
Yeah.
she's been really good. Like, and this was really pretty. I thought it was very well put together.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was nice. Like it was nice.
But having said that, I forget what she wore. I just wrote that it was pretty.
It was like the gift bag, so it was like the shiny blue tube dress with like the frills coming at the top.
Yes, yes, yes. It was a bit basic, yeah, but it was nice.
It was nice, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then Tamisha came out as the old lady, and everything was old bag. No,
It was
can't say.
like everything fitted badly and the wig was terrible and it just didn't look nice. And then she was just trying to act funny to make up for it. And it was like, it wasn't funny either.
I get where she was coming from. I give her that. But that to me was like you'd almost wait for a reveal. Like it wasn't a category for reveals, but like if something is like that old hunched over, you'd almost expect her to stand up straight, lift the blazer off, and it's a full stunning gown.
And something worth looking at.
Something worth looking at. It just wasn't great. Then Simone in this big titty velvet gown, which was gas. I love everything about it. I love the black wig with the white swirl through it. She was resting on her titties.
The
Did
big
I get
head.
big tits? Did I get when she popped them? No, but it was fun. What do you think?
I'm assuming maybe she like used bags for the boobs. I don't really know what else on that was made of bags or whatever.
So this one, the concept was it doesn't have to be, well, no, it's like think of a bag and make a concept out of it. So hers was fun bags. Her boobs were her fun bags.
Oh, okay, I get it. So yeah, that's fine.
And
It was interesting.
it was campy.
It was funny. Yeah.
Yes. Then Olivia, when she turned that corner, I gasped, I paused, I looked, I was like, oh my god, something about braids gets to me. Don't know what it is. I just love this. Her makeup was so well done. It was soft but striking, and then the red braids inspired down the one side and the way the cape flowed. I loved it. What do you think?
I wrote that it was gorge. So I think everything that she wore was like really, I think because her face and stuff is always so nice, it really helps now. Like what she was wearing was lovely. But I
Yeah,
do think that like for some other people, they really ruin it with the face.
yeah. And that's like the second not punching bag, second boxer outfit we've seen so far because someone had the first. So if we get a third one, gold, jackpot, your millions, do the your millions. Uh, then Gottmik came out as like the body bag, so it's like a cut open cadaver.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't
I
I didn't love it.
I liked it. I just didn't. Yeah, I just didn't
I
warm
wasn't
to it.
bothered about it. I said that it was like something Sharon Needles would do.
Very that, very that. Um, but then yeah, it was to me it was fine. I'm not saying it was bad, but just to my own taste, I wasn't vibing. But you are obviously the same way.
Can't love them all.
Then we went on to Rose as the Scottish bagpipes. Loved it. Is this the same with your wig? I don't know. It's both red. Her Scottish accent was impeccable.
She can
Notice
do
that.
accents.
do more. I think this is not the best because her runway look from the first episode was amazing. She seemed to have fun in this outfit. She seemed to really enjoy presenting it. What do you think?
It was so polished, like everything she does is really polished.
Yeah,
And obviously, bagpipes. So there is a concept. Can't
yeah.
really fault it, like.
You can't. It was a very either can possibly a winner had it. She done all three very well, but a very high safe regardless. If we're based off that look alone.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tina Burner in this her brown bag basically covering alcohol. It was an alcohol mermaid dress where the tail was like covered in like an alcohol fabric. Um, I appreciate the way she sold it, but that shade of brown, I was like, I would prefer it if she had gotten actual brown paper and sewed that into a gown. I know it's a lot of effort, but I think it would have added like a good texture to it. What did you think of it?
I thought it was really well made, and it looked like it was a lot of time that there was a lot of time spent on it.
Yeah,
So I couldn't really, when you're given kind of crappy materials to make something pretty out of it, I thought was impressive.
yeah,
Well, not necessarily pretty, but something well constructed.
yeah. Then Candy came out as the magician, and she was like pulling wood out of her bag or whatever. It was well constructed, but she looked like a receptionist, like a glam receptionist. She was like in Wallace at Christmas, got her sparkly sequin black dress, the white top. She's having a wee tipple at the staff party of her like West Coast Cooler rosé. Um, I didn't like it. Did you?
I thought it was probably the best that she had looked up until that point. Just because her hair, like I couldn't see a bad wig line like last week. Her makeup looked a bit better than it was. There wasn't anything sticking out. Like you couldn't really say that there was anything really wrong with it. You just maybe like didn't like it. Like it was like everything was well covered. She covered the bases, I would say.
Covered the bases. I didn't necessarily love it. Then finally, Utica as her concept was doggy bag. So I'm assuming she was like either acting like a dog with a poodle wig or she owns a dog. Then she went on to act out. I mean, scratching for fleas, fine. But to get on the floor and lift your leg like you're pissing on a hydrant, I was kind of like, I agree with the judges in that she doesn't have to sell the garments so hard.
Mm-hmm. It was already so loud.
Be loud. Um, yeah, the outfit though itself, did I like it? Can't say I did, but maybe it's not my taste. Too.
Yeah, the hair was probably the standout.
Yeah. So then we move on to the coat ad, the main section for the ad while the girls carry their clutches, money bags. Denali comes out as this like Cruella de Vil, and on the end of her pinky nail, she had her fag. That sold me. That was drag. I loved it. What do you think of it?
Yes, that was clever, but all I could see was her heart. Like her makeup really is not like I really don't like it because it doesn't complement her face. She's such a gorgeous boy. She has a gorgeous face, very very
Yeah.
pretty. And then when she goes into drag, everything is down, everything gets pulled down by her, and she's got this really weird kind of cheek contour that doesn't. I don't know. She just needs to. I'm sure she'll figure it out, but it didn't look good.
Yeah.
It was very meh.
See, what happens is when the queens come on, they're coming from like a club background, so obviously the lighting in a club makes all that softer, but works well on stage. So I think some drag queens go through the struggle of when they get on TV being so well lit, they see the issues and then fix it and look stunning after. But
But you
then,
see, Denali, you can tell Denali's going for the pretty look, but she's making herself older and she's making herself look tired with what she's doing.
yeah, I mean, we'll see if it gets better across the season or even after on Instagram, but we'll basically see the fruits of our efforts once this season's over. Joey, it was kind of just a bodysuit with a blazer.
It was really, it was nothing. It was just like he might as well have just come out in his normal clothes.
I mean, he probably did. He probably just had that rocking out. He was like, let me just do this as a boy for a quick second. And didn't particularly enjoy it.
He sprayed his hair red, I think. So at least it's that.
At least it's something. I mean, I'm well accustomed to a red hair myself. Then Lala Ri came out as this 80s kind of housewife look. It was paying homage to like kind of like an African church outfit, which I can see. I also respected the no wig because it wasn't expected. But as much as I like this, very simple. Do you agree?
I think the word we're looking for is pedestrian.
Oop. Yeah, very pedestrian. Did you like the pedestrian look of it? Aside
It
from
actually looked, yeah, it looked okay.
looked okay.
Yeah.
Then Elliot comes out as this like 90s power bitch CEO. I lived. I
In the
like
red.
his shoulder. I think Elliot is starting to show a trend of wearing like a blonde or a white hair. I like to see it. Um, so then this is kind of like the first of many girls who like a money CEO look. I liked it. Did you?
Yeah. And I've noticed that all of her hair is always very sculpted. I don't know if
Very
she's doing that herself or if she just has a lot of wigs that are pre-done. But yeah, it was really nice.
yeah. Then Tamisha Iman, this like woman of leisure in green, white, and black. I hate to make analogies, but it's like the vice principal of an all-girls school on graduation day.
Yeah. And it's like, if she didn't do anything with her hair as well.
Yeah. And then fucking more feathers brought up. She said that she has a peacock feather here to show off like wealth or whatever because everyone wears peacocks. Some brought up the fact it was an ostrich feather. I was like, do we really need to dig that deep into fucking feathers? Feathers! I'm getting so heated about the word feathers. I don't know. I'm so heated. Triggered. Then Simone comes out in this pink cutout suit and that like reflective pink material. And kind of gaggy. Did gag a little bit. It was the material that sold it. Had that been in any other material, I wouldn't like it. But that pink reflective material sold me. I lived. Did you live?
It was the exact same for me. I thought it was a very interesting look because it was so shiny and metallic. But other than that, I didn't particularly think there was anything great.
Yeah, had that come out in the runway on its own, we would have remembered it more. But I think in 36 looks, it got lost in the end.
It did, yeah.
Then Olivia comes out in another CEO look. This blue CEO cape moment that was lined with like the multicolored stripes and like the short chestnut blonde wig. Pedestrian. You forget about it. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was the most boring of the three.
Yeah, wasn't ideal. Next up, then got Mick in this another Cruella de Vil inspired look, but it was very Gen Z. That's what Gen Z thinks is Cruella de Vil on TikTok. The black and white pinstripe suit that was like embellished. I can see why it's nice, not my taste in drag. What did you think?
It wasn't my taste either, but I knew that they would love it.
They do like a skinny girl in anything form
A skinny girl is something quirky where it could be fashion. It could be considered fashion.
But is it fashion? Then Rose comes out as this 80s housewife. Now, I can't quite recall the housewife she was. Can you?
She actually wore a kind of a beige, like almost suity thing, but I think she had a skirt at the bottom.
Okay.
And she had kind of like triangle, kind of her hair was kind of triangular and it was blonde and curly. And it was very kind of well put together. But like they said, well, the judges said it was kind of boring, that it wasn't like amped up enough.
Yeah, because I wrote down 80s housewife. I cannot for likely think of it, so it can't have been that ideal.
It was kind of a suity skirt thing, and it was beige.
Silly skirty thing, yeah. Then Tina comes out in this like diamante hands to the CEO look. Once again, well constructed, boring.
I think it was nice because of the I think it's called a peplum, the thing around the middle that kind of frills up and down. If
Yeah.
that wasn't there and if the big huge hat wasn't there, it would have been really bad. But I think
Yeah.
those little things made it more
Then
interesting.
Candy comes out. I think this was Candy's strongest look of the night. Came out in this like lingerie with the money wig, and I like it. It was like a pink lingerie CEO, basically the CEO of Victoria's Secret, but the money wig sold it for me. Do you like it though?
It was really creative.
For some reason, it gave me very Cardi B in one of her videos. I can't remember which one, but it did give me Cardi B, but I did like it. Finally, last but not least, Utica in this like Chicago like musical shorts, kind of short 2D type thing with the black bob. I don't know. Do you know?
I just thought it looked like Sasha Velour during her Final Four performance. The category is right eyed.
Yes,
She's getting like she's got the black wig.
I can see that.
It was very
Um,
flashy.
it was kind of forgettable in the grand scheme of things. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't really appreciate it, but like for this whole thing, the category of money bags, they all just kind of went CEO. Um, kind of like Night of a Thousand Kimonos, except CEO. I got bored with the same concept of CEO. I would like to see something different. Like Candy brought something different when it was money bags. She made a money wig out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't necessarily like either people went housewife-esque or CEO-esque. And I don't know if they were told that was the direction they were going in or what was the crack. Just didn't appreciate it. Then finally we get into ball bags. So first up, Denali in this sugar skull type thing. Her walk was odd, but it was her own creation, so I'll give her that. I could have done without like the big trellis thing going over her head. I didn't. I think it was too thin. There was nothing on it to make it worth the hassle. Did you like her sugar skull look?
I did. Just it was just memorable and it looked interesting, you know.
It was no,
And
no. I did like.
that's all you can do a lot of the time is make sure that somebody will remember what it was.
Yeah, I did like it. I just could have done without the canopy thing on top of her head.
It looked unstable.
Yeah, no pleasing some people. No pleasing some people. That's how you enunciate.
Yeah.
Then Joey in this polka dot puff skirt, which I didn't think was that bad for something she made.
I actually thought it was really pretty. Maybe it looked different in person because it was black. You probably couldn't see any mistakes. But I
Yeah.
will say that her hairline was really, really hard, and that was a blonde wig.
Yeah.
So, you know, she needed to have something like here at the sides because it was really just like line the whole way around.
Yeah.
This is why people wear high ponytails.
Right, point is. Then Lala Reed came out in this rockstar-esque, very clutch on the top of the head, gift bags for like shitty jewelry, super glued to a black corset.
And it was absolutely awful.
Chronic, but like there must have been more materials floating about. Even if she knew she ran out, why didn't she do something else? It was chronic, and I love this bitch. You know I do.
But did they show what she made originally?
That is what she made originally.
But she said that she was going to make something else and she ran out of material.
Yeah, she was going to do them little bags the whole way down as a gown, but ran out. And
Oh,
then just hope to dear God, the black corset with super glue bags would work. That was her main idea.
okay.
Like, so chronic. So, like,
It was like a season, that first episode where they sometimes give them a create an outfit challenge, and then you have people like Adore who wore plastic bags or something, and it got stuck to the mannequin, and she had to rip it off, and it was
Yeah.
absolutely horrendous.
It was just bad. Then I keep saying then. Then is like my word. Just stop saying that word. Elliot in this pink cow print suit. Oh, sorry, now after getting a memory of what it is with her skin. I lived for this. It was clean and the pink. The cow print sold it for me, but everything about it, the cape, the two piece, I gagged. I lived. Did you live or did you not live?
I did. I lived because she made it herself. If it was something that she had just chose to wear, and if that was the outfit that she just chose, I would have been a bit like, okay, whatever. But because she
Yeah.
made it herself and it looked so well made, I kind of have to say, you know,
Oh, see, I've been repping Elliot now since she came back, and I'm so glad I did because everyone's like, love Elliot. I'm like,
she's got a bit of like feistiness though.
huh?
She's a bit catchy. Like she really comes back with the remarks.
She does, but I don't mind. I love a bit of drama.
And it needs
Uh,
to.
sure, go on, sure. Tamisha then comes out in like everything and the kitchen sink sewn into a dress. There was too much going on because I know there was like silver epaulets here on the shoulder, then in the middle. Had she carried that like shiny silver material going the whole way down, it would have worked. Had she taken the mesh gift bags the whole way up and then mixed it with silver, it would have worked. There was just too many patterns, too many textures, too much going on. But what do you think of it?
It was a lack of taste because she said, oh, I've got this shiny material, I'll add these shiny sparkly bits here, and I'll add a shiny collar, and I'll add shiny things. It's like, oh girl, like we get it, you're going to be shiny from head to toe, like add something else or take something away.
And then a lack of taste is a symptom of COVID. So if Tanisha is watching, please go get tested for COVID. Thank you. According to Serena, because you've no taste. Then the star of apparently season 13, Simone, comes out in this nautical red and white two-piece. Harsh line. Very harsh lines.
Oh dear is all I can say because it was like, it looked like it was barely even staying on.
Yeah.
Like this bra was so rough.
It was very like triangle titty,
All over the place.
sharp line. Yeah. I would have preferred her make a crop top and then a skirt. Something. It was just
That, yeah.
because it was her, she sold and got away with it. Anyone else would have got eaten alive.
I was going to say that she had incorporated that material into her hair and the hair was nice. But I also will say too, that was non-stretch material, which is like impossible to work with. So that was her mistake for picking.
Yeah. Next up, Olivia as this like Amazon Wonder Woman, but like you remember those old school things where it was like a microscope, but as you twisted, there's like different patterns inside?
Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope. It was like Wonder Woman thrown through a kaleidoscope, but I lived. She made this.
Yeah. It was like something else as well. It was like a character. I actually thought it during when she came out. I was like, this is basically exactly what it is, but I can't remember now. Everybody leave down in the comments whatever I'm talking about.
But I just loved it. It was a very, very strong look from ball bag section.
It's like a kind of a warrior like look, you know, with the
warrior princess. Are you thinking of Xena?
Something like that, but
yeah. We'll find it. Got me in this silver one leg thing that the judges could not stop licking her hole about. I didn't get it. Sometimes fashion does not equal style and vice versa. It was drawbags on one leg up into a silver panel, and that was basically it.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
I don't get it either. Just didn't get it. Rose in this silver deconstructed alien look, alien balls. When she turned, they came out in a circle around her with the triangular blonde hair. One of my favorite looks from her. It was smart. It was fun. The hair sold it completely for me. Thoughts? Give me them.
I thought that was the best outfit out of the whole runway, all of the runways tonight, like out of everyone's.
I mean, it's okay to have opinions, but maybe not say them from time to time, Serena. It was a great outfit. I think it pales in comparison to one I bring up, but that so far is your favorite of the night, is it?
I'm not sure if it's so far or just in general. Well, we'll keep going. Maybe I'll change my mind.
Maybe, because I'm thinking maybe you. Okay, we'll find out. Tina in this Ronald McDonald in drag look. The dress is stunning, it was well made. Could have looked
Uh-huh.
off. But Ronald McDonald in drag, this red and yellow dynamic, I know it's her colours.
Yeah.
It's an odd pairing. I didn't like it because of the colours.
But it makes her very original because nobody else is going to look like mustard and ketchup, you know.
It's a bit of a backhanded compliment, and like, yes, no one's going to look like her, but no one's going to look like her because it is red and yellow. That's kind of like rock and a hard place, but it works for her. But I just didn't like it because of the colorings, really.
And she again looked like a fire hydrant kind of, or like a fireman. Like her entrance look was a fireman. It was red firewoman, whatever. It was very
It,
similar to that.
it was a very camp drag firewoman, is what it
Yep.
was.
Mhm.
Um, second last Candy Muse in this first day of semester with like the champion sports bags. I liked it. I like that type of like aesthetic. I did write down her wig line was atrocious. You could see where the wig line started and stopped. No blending. But apart from that, what do you think of the look?
I weirdly didn't notice her wig this time. Like last week, all I could see was her wig.
Not
But
Serena not noticing the wig line
I
of
don't
all
know.
people.
It must have been because it was dark hair. Because I was just looking at the braids. I thought they were cool, but I loved the fact that it was like a kind of a high waisted skirt that kicked out.
Yeah,
And it was kind of Dora the Explorer. It was kind of, it was quirky.
yeah. And then last up, my personal oh no, I can see where you're going. Yes, Utica in this sleeping bag with the makeup. She looks like a sick Swedish girl. She made this from sleeping bags.
Hmm.
From sleeping bags. I gagged. I lived. I think the world gagged, lived, and stand. Um, I can see now why you're having your favorite is someone different because there was very strong looks for me. The top three out of top four were Rose,
Hmm.
Elliot, and Rose, Olivia, Utica, Elliot.
Yeah.
Very, very strong, strong looks. I now have you deciding, do I like Elliot's more than Utica's? But even though I know Utica's was more impressive because she's made it, I did love Elliot. I think that was the strongest category out of them all, just because even with the weak ones, a lot of strong ones.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
that
loved you. I loved the work that went into Utica's one, and it was very creative. But out of like which outfit would I prefer to have for myself? I'd like to have Rose's.
yeah, just give me all four. Honestly, give me a discount and I'll take all four. My favorite look of the night, probably Elliot in the pink cow print two piece with the cape. And then across the board, I think mm, it's between Elliot and Olivia because Olivia also did give two strong looks and everyone kind of fell down with one look. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's 36 looks that aged me into fucking oblivion. So then the safe
We can
queens,
tell.
the safe queens are Denali, Elliot, Simone, Olivia, Tina, Candy. Then the bottom and tops are
Valerie.
yes,
There was Joey.
yes,
There was who was the third one in the bottom? Valerie, Joey, and Tamisha. And then the
yeah.
top was Rose, Utica, and Olivia.
You better work. You better work, bitch.
Yeah.
Critiques. Joey J didn't get the poison IV bag thing. like, what's not clicking? What's not, like, I didn't understand why she wasn't understanding. Kirsten was throwing her a bone to be like, is this what you did? She goes, no. It would have made more sense had you done it.
They showed it as if she was insulted. It looked like she was kind of offended by their comments.
Yeah, she kind of was, but like I think after the night she was hardly impressed with the way things were going. And bottom two is Lala Ree and Joey J, and they're lip syncing to Fancy by Iggy Azalea. Going into it, didn't know what to expect. Lala Ree's thing was falling apart. Throughout it, you could see Lala Ree winning it. She embodied it. I felt Joey J was kind of like moving weirdly. It was like weird and across the stage in as little bangs as possible. Whereas Lana really seemed to be vibing. The moment she won for me is when Elliot did something, and then or Joey did something, and then Lala Ree mirrored her and like walked in front of her. And that was after Joey threw the cash. And when Lala Ree picked up that cash into her tips, I was like, I gagged, I lived, it was over. So then it ends up being that Lala Ree stayed, Joey J goes home, while we were taught on the lip sync.
It almost seemed a bit like last week where Kimura kind of gave up a bit. It was almost like Joey gave up, even though he said that he was going to fight to stay. Like, you know, Joey's a dancer, so I was kind of surprised not to see him just really go all out. But
Yeah.
maybe he might not be used to that kind of hair and outfit restricting him in his drag. And it
Yeah.
really makes things different.
I mean, did you agree with Lala Ree winning and Joey J going home?
Well, I agreed with how the lip sync went. But in terms of who was weaker in the challenge, it was definitely Lala Ree. Joey's was actually nice. And I would argue actually that it should be Tamisha instead of Joey.
It should have been Joey staying.
Well, Tamisha I thought was weaker than Joey.
Oh, yes, but I think they wanted to produce her hand in that because after Tamisha saying she put Lala Ree in drag this first time, I don't think they were willing to have that storyline gone just yet. I think Joey J ran their course of a storyline. That kind of wraps up episode 5. As I'm sure people have guessed, you are now probably going to be the running co-host of these reviews. Just makes sense, really. Just makes sense. But I do once again thank you for coming on. I appreciate the mask keeping everyone safe during COVID. As a stunning supermarket worker, because I know you love when I say it.
Oh, I love it. Can I make one comment before we finish?
Go for it.
It was really funny that they showed Candy's devastation when Joey got voted out.
Yeah, actually.
Candy is in love with Joey.
I mean, all of gay Twitter is in love with Joey. They see one bit of muscle, they're all drawn like flights of shite. Gas. But where can everyone find you online?
Oh, they can find me on my Instagram, which they probably already have, I would imagine.
Oh, is that right, Serena?
That's correct. You know, my reach is far and wide.
Is that your hold of your hand?
Depends on my mood.
Depends on your mood. But yeah, that's where everyone can find you. So you'll be back next week for episode 6. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.